Hi guys, I am here with a hospice story. Try and get this set right. Alright, let's see who this one is. This one is by Trudy Harris, and it is about her patient Darleen. God entered into the quiet through the simplicity and grace of Father O'Flynn. Courage to change the things I can. I got a pen that tells different Bible verses when you... Okay. Darleen and her husband William lived in a beautiful country club setting with their home overlooking a lake and a golf course. You could spend hours wandering upstairs and down and never see all of the changing views from every window in the house. They had raised 2 sons there, both of whom lived a good distance away now. They had taken care of Darleen's mother for many years, in her own private suite of rooms, until she died just a few years before. Since then, it had been just the 2 of them, enjoying their retirement years together. Darleen had a malignant brain tumor, and although she was still quite young and active in her early 70s, she was going to die of this disease. William and Darleen were a quiet, stay-to-themselves couple. They did not socialize much and did not have a network of friends of which to rely on. They were comfortable with that and enjoyed being just the 2 of them. Keeping Darleen comfortable and pain-free was William's only concern, and over many an early morning cup of coffee, he and I would speak about how to do that. Her diagnosis made her prone to severe headaches and seizure activity, which oral medication had kept under control until now. However, at 3 a.m. one morning, William called me in a panic. Darleen was having a major seizure that was lasting much longer than any she had experienced in the past. He asked if I would come over right away. I lived about 10 minutes away, so I told him I would be right there and to call 911 immediately. And soon there I was in my pajamas and bathrobe at 3 a.m. giving Darleen emergency medication to control her seizure. When the ambulance arrived to attend to Darleen, the EMT looked at her as I received her condition with him, telling him of the meds I had given her and why, and directing him to the hospital where she was to be admitted. It took him a moment to put the pieces of the puzzle together and realize that hospice care happens at all hours of the day and night. Whatever needs to be done for the patient's safety and well-being happens on the spot, and hospice nurses are known to stay one step ahead of everything so as not to have crisis mentality for the patient or family. William and I laughed for years after about the sheer humor involved in a hospice nurse attending a patient in the middle of the night in her pajamas and bathrobe, and the look on the EMT's face when he arrived. With the right medications given intravenously, Darleen's seizures were immediately under control. She was discharged from the hospital to her home 1 day later. Her decline was more evident with every passing day, and she wanted to be with William in her own home. Darleen and William did not have a church community to which they currently belonged. They had belonged to one in the past, but the time involved in caring for her mother had kept them from church longer than they wanted to remember. They asked if I knew anyone, a priest or minister, who would come and pray with Darleen. I was happy they asked. Father Seamus O'Flynn, my close and faithful friend, who always came at a moment's notice and who comforted William years later as he was dying, stopped by for his first visit. After that first visit, he made it his duty to visit Darleen often, ministering to her just as Jesus would have done. The sight of them sitting together head to head in meaningful conversation and prayer has never left me. The comfort it brought to her soul was beautiful to see, and it comforted William's heart as well. On one such occasion, Darleen asked if Father O'Flynn would conduct a graveside service for her when the time came. He agreed immediately, and they reviewed all of her favorite scriptures to plan the day. Darleen died in her beautiful home with her husband and her sons nearby, the way they had always lived those many years ago, quietly and together. Father O'Flynn arrived at the cemetery early on the morning of Darleen's service. I kidded with him about knowing all of his scriptures by heart, which of course he did, not only because he read them often, but also because he lived them every day. God makes himself known to us in the ways he knows will be easiest for us to receive him. He knows us better than we will ever know ourselves. We're not just supposed to read the scriptures. We're supposed to follow the scriptures. The Bible was, in a way, an instruction booklet for us. Darleen and William were quiet people. They lived their lives with simplicity and grace, and God entered into the quiet through the simplicity and grace of Father O'Flynn. There were no horns and whistles, no loud voices, just quiet, gentle peace and love. It reminded us all what Jesus is truly about. I hope you guys enjoyed that story of Darleen, and I hope you guys have a great night.